There we are. Hello, hello, hello. If you're watching this replay, thank you so much for stopping by. Third time is a charm. I had to try 3 times today to get on live. YouTube not cooperating, but I'm stubborn. But so thank you, thank you, thank you for being here. If you're here live, if you made it, welcome, welcome, welcome. Let me know that you're here. I really appreciate your patience. If you were searching for me earlier, I don't know what is up with YouTube because I went live a little bit ago. Everything seemed fine. And then when I tried again at 4 my time, it was a no-go. So, but here I am. So, and if you are new to this live stream, my name is Svava Brooks. I am a trauma recovery coach, and I'm so happy to be here with my fellow survivor thrivers Tuesdays and Thursdays, most days, most weeks, rather, where we come together to encourage, support, validate, right? To be here for each other. So if you're looking for support, I hope you stick around and come back and check it out anytime. So how are you guys doing today? Hey, Sue. Hey, Minnie. I know Rob was trying to text me earlier when I closed out. So I could see his chat, but the wheel was still spinning in front of me. So, but I made it. Are you doing okay, Rob? You said you weren't feeling well. Hey, Lady Leo, how are you doing today, my friend? How are you guys? I think that's the appropriate place to start. Right here, right now, in our hearts. How are we doing? How are you feeling? Hey, Sharon. How are you doing, my friend? I'm just happy to be here with you guys. Happy to be here with you guys. Got a big glass of water, trying to get all my water in, my daily dose. I hear you, Lady Leo. Well, I am so glad that you found comfort and grounding in that. Thank you for bringing that up. We are acutely aware. So glad that that grounded you, right? How are you doing, Sue? Long time no see. Oh, Rob, ate too much greasy food and you feel rank. Ugh, ouch. Sorry about that. I'm sorry. That's tough. Hard when our stomach doesn't feel well. We're glad you're here. Take it easy. Do you have some Alka-Seltzer? Tums? Something to help the tummy. Hey, Sharon, super excited. Procedure is 10:30 a.m. tomorrow. Excellent. So 10:30 East Coast. We will be thinking about you. I'll be by then, 7:30. We look forward to hearing about it. Sue says, doing okay, still tired. All right, Rob, no worries. He says, sorry if I'm not chatty, but I'll be listening. All right, well, we're glad that you're here. that you got you're here with us, your kind heart. Hey, Carrie, how are you doing, my friend? I saw your comment in the Journey to the Heart group. I am glad you're here, glad that you're using your safety plan and your self-care and acknowledging, right, what's going on. She says, I'm doing okay. Yep. I'm having an okay day today as well. So I hear you. Sharon says, thanks. Then the dreaded 16-day wait. The wait is yuck. Yes, I can imagine. I can imagine the wait being hard. Lady Leo, my son seems to have calmed down and is now talking about how he feels and some experiences I was not aware of. It was hard to hear, but I allowed him to speak his truth. That's awesome, Lady Leo. I am sure that is hard, but that's a gift, right? It's a blessing for him and a blessing for you, being able to speak our truth. And it's so hard, right? That parent-child relationship. I absolutely understand, right? No matter how often we tell our kids, I'm here for you, you can tell me anything. We know that they may hold back sometimes because they don't want us to worry, right? They know we worry. It's part of the job description is what I tell my son sometimes. Also, it isn't just worry, it's about exactly to remind them that we all feel better. We all feel better once we talk about it. Oh my goodness, right? We talk about that here, right? Glad he was comfortable enough with me to talk to me about it. Yes, yes. And I've especially found Rob, boys and other men, sometimes they need that space, a few days from maybe what happened to being comfortable with talking about it. It's like once the, and I don't know, maybe some of you guys can relate to that too. Not wanting to talk about it right here and then. Yeah, I mean, I can relate to that too. Once, you know, if I'm going through something or in the middle of the emotion, it's hard to talk about. But once time has passed a little bit and things have settled maybe a little bit, then we can find a way to talk about it. I hear you, Carrie. Yep, and this is exactly why it's important, if we can, to surround our kids with other people they feel comfortable talking to, right? I definitely realized that since I didn't have that growing up, a caretaker parent who I felt safe to talk to. Definitely reached out to other people. And we know, especially through the teenage years, teenagers pull back. And actually, it's very sweet. You guys know my son is 17, my baby boy. We used to call him Baby David. That's right. They have their own tribes. And, you know, obviously he's going through those years of independence and wanting to be his own man and all that. But actually this week, he came to me and he's like, Mom, you know, I realize I've kind of over the years preferred to kind of do things my way and kind of been, you know, going to my friends for things and been thinking in many ways I'm not like you guys, you know. Those of you who know my daughters, right? This poor kid grew up with 3 mothers. I sometimes during family dinners, I'd be like, the mother at the table, please raise her hand, because my daughters are mothering him. So I could see that he needed to break away and take some space. But like I said, this week, yeah, just a few days ago, see, it was very moving. He's like, actually, Mom, I really love you guys. I really, appreciate you. And I think this is also because he's been distancing from his friends, obviously, a little more, not being able to hang out with them as much. And he was like, no, Mom, I'm actually a lot more like you. He started meditating, and he's been reading up on Buddhism and spirituality. And so he's like, I really like my relationship with you guys. And so it's what they say, right? If you love something or someone, set them free, let go, trust that they're going to find their path and their journey. And if they're meant to be in your life, they'll come back. So, I mean, I think I've seen that with all three of my kids. They kind of break away a little bit naturally, create their own tribes during the teenage years. I think that's normal. It's normal. It's like, our kids are not meant to be cookie cutters from us, right? Yes, at some point they get to assess, okay, this is what I learned from my parents and, my family or community growing up. But who am I? What do I want to keep? What do I believe? What do I want to stand for? And I've always told my kids, it's like they get to choose, right? They're their own person. So yes, thanks, Lady Leo. Thank you, Sue. I was like, oh, baby boy. So, and some of you guys know my journey with him. He's a high functioning Asperger kid. So we've had a journey together. So he's come a long ways. So yes, having a safe place to have our feelings, whatever they are, right? And isn't that what we're trying to do here, my friends? Right? Come and be together. Come as you are. Come with what's going on with you and what's going on inside of you. It's easier when we can you just see me, hear me, hold a safe place for me? Because I'm trying to sort this out. So that's right, Lady Leo. Happy to see he's seen my growth, that I'm no longer reactive. So it's safe to tell me the hard stuff. That's awesome, Lady Leo. That's awesome, my friend. Yes. And that's exactly it, right? When you model that for them, right? When we say, you can tell me anything, I won't be upset. And then they're like, well, I haven't seen that. I've seen reactions. So, right, model them. So it's like, there are teachers, right? Carrie says, my kids have seen me go through some stuff, and that may keep them from talking to me. Sometimes they may see me as fragile. Sometimes I am, but it makes me sad. I hear you, Carrie. I understand. But trust. Just keep trusting. You keep doing you. You are also being authentic. You're being authentic, real with what's going on in your life, and there's a gift in that. That's what I believe, at least. They see us go through life. Life is hard, right? It's more important just to be authentic, be real, because they know. I think they do know. So kids are smart. Thank you, Sue. Okay, got it. All right. So today's topic, let me set up the conversation for us here. I need to refresh. I will go ahead and do that. And today we are on day 156 I'm going to just put out the topic for us. And of course, you are welcome to join in, comment. We'd love to hear your thoughts on this. Let's see. I explored many different avenues during my quest to heal from abuse and trauma. Some of the most helpful things on my healing journey were the kind, compassionate counselors and my peer survivors, right? Who traveled before me or were with me in those groups that I was in all those years ago. And for years, I went to those groups. So what they did for me was simple, yet profound. And I see that over and over and over again right here in this space, what we are creating for each other, right? They listened to my story and then gently said, I believe you. Can you guys remember the first person who did that for you? And when you finally told your story and the person you shared your story with reflected back and said, I believe you. So the two questions that I posted for us today: what avenue has been the most helpful to you so far on your healing journey? Because there are, we are multidimensional beings, and your journey is maybe different than other people's journeys, but I do feel, right, that we do find what we need. Absolutely. If you're out there seeking, what you're seeking is also seeking you. So I'm curious, what has been the most helpful for you on your healing journey, and how has it helped you? So let's see here. I'm scrolling down. It says here, Lady Leo says here, I attribute my openness to address my mental health that has been the most helpful. Focusing on my mental health provided the clinical services I needed to regulate my emotional health. Once the work on my mental health was regulated with talk therapy and medication, I was able to address the hard feelings and thoughts that I was experiencing. I became open to connecting to others and build healthy relationships. Beautiful. Beautiful, Lady Leo. Right? That openness, that was your willingness, that was your courage. Your openness, your willingness. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Leo, for commenting here, sharing with Carrie. Makes me feel so good when you simply say, I hear you. I am so glad to hear, Carrie, that you find comfort in that, because to me, that was the most comforting thing. I believe you. I hear you. I hear you. And maybe it was also because I didn't know that there was someone there that would actually hear me. I felt like I'd been screaming my whole life, right? The red flag going off constantly. So, but thank you, Lady Leo, right? Once you normalized talking about it, right? And got some stability with that, and right, talking getting some medication to support you and stabilizing maybe some of the hard feelings and the hard trauma experiences, then address those hard feelings and the thoughts, right? Learning to self-regulate while those feelings and thoughts are coming through our system, coming through the system. So, and it makes sense because we need to be able, it's one thing having some thoughts and feelings in exchange with someone else. And when we expect the worst from others and reflect back in here is the expecting the worst. And so it's hard to connect with others when we're defending ourselves, protecting ourselves. Our energy is protective. The person in front of you feels it, right? So the more we can understand why, and then can see how our state is impacted, you know, by the person in front of you and received and experienced by the person in front of you. So thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Lady Leo. And the openness is key. Open to learning, open to receive, open for new information. So beautiful. Beautiful. Sue P shared with us. Sue P is, let's see here, I'm scrolling down here. Carrie says, people always were telling me they thought I was making stuff up. They made me question myself. Now I have people who believe me and listen to me. I'm sorry, Carrie. I'm so sorry. So thanks for the heads up, Sue. The signal was definitely wonky here earlier. So if it's still giving you guys a hard time, I'm sorry, because it wouldn't start up for me right away. So let's see, it was after the medication, I could see my negative thoughts and actions were directly related to trauma and not that I was just a bad person. Yes, I hear you, Lady Leo, right? Ugh, who can relate, right? For so long, I thought it was just me and that I was a bad person. So, but once we understand, you're not a bad person. Not a bad person. What's going on in our life is a textbook example. That's right, Sue. Yeah, I was the problem. Yes, yes. I hear you. I hear you. So let's see here. Sue P shared with us, she says, I tried to relieve my pain in a number of ways, but after some less than helpful therapy, I connected with a coach who was also a survivor. And for the first time, I felt accepted exactly as I was. And when I expressed the way I was feeling, she was totally unsurprised and validated me and helped me begin to understand the reasons for it. That gave me hope that there was a way forward and that I wasn't just being miserable for no reason or a problem that no one could sort out. It's taken time and work, but things are very different for me now. I have a clearer sense of who I am, and I am so much more at ease with myself. And one of the things that has helped me most is finding others on the same journey who I can share with so we can encourage each other. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I hear you, Sue. I hear you. I see you. I believe you. I understand and feel the same way, right? It was in the beginning expecting to be shamed, expected to be blamed, expected to be told it was my fault. And like, wow, there is a reason. There is a reason. And again, right, just a textbook example of a grown-up or a child that grew up through abuse and trauma. Yes, helping others makes me feel better, say Carrie, right? It was a surprise to be accepted. Yes, yes. And again, another reason why I love, our groups, because once you recognize, wait a minute, this helped, this has made a difference, then you can't help but want to tell other people about it. It's like, wait a minute, more people need to know. More people need to know. And I think that's, how a handful of you guys found me some years ago. Some people been around longer than others, and I love that. I don't know if Minnie's still here. Her and I met online, 2014. But the reason why I did all those video summits, you guys have seen those interview video summits. I did 3 of them, 2015 and 2016, because I was like, wait a minute, people need to know that they can heal, right? There's nothing wrong with you. You just need to understand why our body does what it does, how it responds to the hard things that we went through. So, but I'm glad we're here. Glad we found each other. And we're going to keep going, right? I'm on a mission to get this out to as many as possible. That's right, Sue. First summit that helped me make that first connection, right? And it was the theme, remember what you said? It was connecting. It was connecting. On a video summit, Carrie. All right, well, I'm so glad to hear it. You're not alone. It's interesting, right? I have some people that have been following me for a while and then they come back sometimes. It's like, you said something all those years ago and it stuck with me. It stuck with me. So I'm so glad you're here, Carrie. That's right, Lady Leo. When you had family members telling you you are bad and mean, right? We start to believe it. We start to believe it. Yeah, and they don't even have to say it. It's just how they treat us, right? It's how they treat us that we start to believe it. And when that belief has kind of solidified in our core as part of our toxic, right, our coping strategy, right? It takes some time to dig it out. It takes time to dig it out, as we know. It gets kind of lodged deep in there, and then it kind of, it's a little bit of a war with itself when we think it's part of our identity or who we are, because it's been with us for so long, and we hear those voices in our head and how people have treated us, and right? Yeah, it's just reflecting, especially with the family is the hardest, right? Once, because I was in a different country, would go back and talk to my family members, and they would treat me as if I was who I was all those years ago. And I'd be like, pause, I'm not that person anymore. I've worked way too hard to change. You do not get to treat me the way you used to treat me back then, right? I'm a different person. That's not the truth, right? It's hard sometimes with family members. So, all right, Sharon. Sharon says, okay to share. She says, most helpful, I would have to say, is my c-ptsd foundation.com, their daily Zoom calls, along with live YouTube Monday nights and Tuesday and Wednesday live stream, has been a community that understands my struggles. My friend, I hear you. I'm so glad, right, that we find those communities, because as we were just talking about, it's hard being around family that is sometimes more invested in us not in things than we are questioning them, and then we're asking them to question some of their truths, right? So we need a community. We need other people around us. So thank you, Sharon. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So glad you're here. Thank you for sharing with us. Yes, and you guys know I've said it enough. I wouldn't be here if it hadn't been for the groups that I found all those years ago. And usually when I am, going in to change a behavior, changing something, then I will usually sign up for a group program with it, because it is that change that takes time, that daily commitment, that ongoing practice, and also knowing, okay, there's going to be good days, there's going to be bad days. I need to know that there are other people that are also in that, one step forward, two step back. I'm not the only one struggling through this. So anytime I'm learning something new, I will look for, okay, who else here is going through this? It works. It works. Lady Leo says, now I won't allow people to tell me I'm mean. I let them know I am not mean, but I can be if I need to with you. That usually backs them up. Good, Lady Leo. Excellent. Excellent, my friend. Exactly. Because you're not mean, right? You're not at all. But it's what comes up when we feel the need to protect or defend or set a boundary. It's don't you mess with me, right? No, I totally get it, Carrie. Yeah, the struggle, life is hard. Life is hard. It is okay to struggle. It's okay to be doing good. It doesn't have to be one way or another. Nope. Exactly. Absolutely. You're absolutely right. Everybody got their water? Let's see here. And we had Sue. Sue, are you driving? Sue S. Sue S shared with us. She says, the most helpful avenue for me was finding a women's veterans support group near me, where I found shared experiences and a great deal of love within the members of the group. I've tried psychotherapy, and I do get some relief from talking about what I endured as both a child and adult. But talking to a therapist who has not experienced any type of abuse has left me feeling frustrated and abandoned. The group I go to is absolutely amazing, and we support each other through every emotion, no matter how painful. Each person is on their individual path of healing, and we uplift each other with love, compassion, and the knowledge that none of us are alone in how we feel, and that there is great hope of healing. This group has helped me realize it's okay to feel the way I do, and that I'm not alone in each and every emotion that overcomes me. As each of us shares our individual stories, we come together in such a loving and compassionate circle of sisterhood. No one judges or criticizes because we've all been through the same experiences. And those who are further along in their healing give us insight into how to deal with and overcome our struggles in the most compassionate way. I'm truly blessed to have found these amazing women, and I hope I can be just as inspiring to newcomers as everyone has been for me. That's beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Thank you, Sue, so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. We are so glad that you are here, and I'm so glad that you found other groups on the way, right? Because you're not alone. And right, there's lots of great there. Let me just say that, a lot of helpful support people out there. But sometimes it's that pause where they may not quite get it, right? They may not quite understand. So you are not alone in feeling that. And I'm so glad that you feel accepted here compassionately, that you find that we understand. No judgment. Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Thank you. Thank you, Lady Leo. Celebrating our friends. Yes, Sue S., you are amazing. Exactly. And I agree. Stop labeling our feelings good or bad, right? Good or bad. It's just some of them are harder than others. Some of them are harder than others. Lady Leah says, I always find it interesting that when you set boundaries, you're mean, but for them, that cross boundaries say we misunderstood what they meant. That's right. Interesting. Interesting, huh? That's good, Lady Leo. Did you lose the signal? I know it's choppy on the internet today. It's choppy out there. I'm just glad I made it here because I was just like, I tried 3 or 4 times. I'm like, come on. Yep. Sue P says, that was a big one for me, not talking about feelings as positive and negative. Yes. Yes. And it's hard in the beginning too. I say in the beginning, but it can be hard at any point when, some people don't want to, talk about their feelings because they think it's negative. Like, I don't want to be negative, right? Or I want to be seen to be negative, but there's a difference. And that has been something that I think you guys can kind of sense, right? That in our group, all feelings are welcome. And I just got a notification that my connection is unstable. So if you guys are losing me, I am keeping my fingers crossed. That's right. If it's hard, it must be bad, says Sue. Pleasant or uncomfortable, but not good or bad. Yes. But what I was saying is that in our space, I welcome all feelings, right? But because it's important that we talk about the hard feelings, that we express the hard feelings. But there's a difference, when we are kind of stuck in the hard feeling about, being, it's like the blame or, how do I say this? Like pretending that we don't have them, right? So come as you are, express the hard stuff. Because it's as we get to know the hard stuff that we also get to feel what it's to have the feelings that are not so hard. And then interestingly, right, sometimes having the good feelings or the easier feelings, sometimes we're like, wait, right? We get uncomfortable with that too sometimes. Exactly. Oh, I hear you, right, Lady Leo? Whenever I had what was considered bad or sad, I was told you didn't have a reason to feel that way. Yeah, and that's crazy making. It's crazy making, right? When people invalidate our feelings, it's like, no, I'm always good with you. Like, this is what I'm feeling. This is where I'm at. Yeah, let's just be with that. But again, where I will ask for a pause is that if you're self-afflicting or turning it on yourself or going into blame or, you know what I mean? So it's like we need to be given permission to release, like, what is it that I'm feeling? Like, can you imagine if we had felt that as children? Like if I had been given a safe space to identify my sadness, my grief, right? My pain. Like when something didn't feel right, if I'd like, there's something going on here that I don't think is right. I'm just saying, anybody else see that this is crazy? What's happening here, right? Instead of like, am I the crazy one? I must be the crazy one. They seem to be okay with this, right? Right? And if it's hard, it must be bad. Sue, yes. If it's hard, it must be bad. Classic. Yes, you would be sent to your room. Sometimes I feel ashamed to talk about the hard stuff. I'm learning to be brave and push through it. Good, Harry. Good for you. And again, this is where it's important that we find people that are okay with the hard stuff because they understand it's important to talk about the hard stuff. And I can also now have compassion for the people that don't want to talk about the hard stuff. I understand. And I was angry for years about, I need you to listen. I'm going to make you listen to my upset about the hard stuff. And then people would be like, oh my goodness, you're too much. And I'm like, okay, I need to find someone who's willing to listen. And again, that's when we find each other, our people. Yes, of course. Yes, I get it. Yes, I understand. Yes, that was hard. That was painful. That was horrible. I'm so sorry. Of course you're upset. Of course you're angry. Of course you don't trust people. Of course you feel crazy, right? It's through a lot of those conversations we're like, thank goodness you see me and hear me and you're not trying to make me feel wrong or bad for having these feelings. I hear you, Carrie. Exactly. Validation is essential. It's essential. Exactly, Lady Leo. Then I would feel like it's my fault, so I wouldn't say when I'm sad. Yeah, exactly. And then when we stop feeling, we start to feel crazy, right? It's like, no, just gonna live up here. And then we just push it down and push it down and push it down and push it down. And we stuff our feelings 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 until we get sick. Ugh, right? Our body goes, can't hold anymore, can't do it. And especially when we have those hard feelings of anger and shame, those are toxic. We turn them on ourselves. So hard. Lady Leo, I get it. Yes. Sue P says, for years, I didn't even realize I was in pain. It was normal all the time. I just wasn't acceptable. Yep. That's right. That's right. We do. We numb out. Absolutely. And we will, right, distract, find quick solutions to numb or deflect. I hear you, Carrie. Well, drive safe, Sue. Drive safe, Sue. Carrie says, my husband sometimes says I'm like a robot. Yes, I hear you. I was the ice queen. I was the ice queen. There you go, Lady Leo. Who else here was a workaholic perfectionist? That's right, Sue. She says, in a way, starting to feel was harder. In the beginning, yes, it is. It is. It is hard. Because no one has modeled that for us. Because we're supposed to learn from other people. This body is supposed to learn about expressing feelings, right? Being seen, being heard, being validated. It's a nervous system need we are meant to get from other people, this mirroring that we come with. And when we don't, right, then we just keep repressing that need, and then we're just like, what's wrong with me? I keep compulsively trying to connect with people and I make a mess of it because I don't know how to do it, but I have this chronic need to want things from people. Like there's this empty thing in myself I'm trying to fill with whatever seems to be working. Sometimes it works for a little, but usually not. Ugh, it's a mess. And then, we distract ourselves with work. We distract ourselves with, okay, if I'm only good enough, if I only work hard enough, then I can fix this. So, my friends, right, since we know it doesn't work, and feeling, you're welcome, Carrie. You're welcome. Been there, done that. Been there, done that. Yep. Right? Since we got each other's back, we know how to do this thing. That's right, Lady Leo. Yeah. No, I'll do it because you guys will all mess it up. I'll just do it. It'll be done right. Ugh. Well, and for me, that's what I had. Like by the time my third child came, I'm like, okay, I give up. I cannot keep a fingerprint-less house, right? Or I will end my life, right? It's like, Like I wouldn't invite my sister over with her kids because they left fingerprints. No. So I have cooled it. I've come a long ways on the cleaning. So I chose peace. So we can laugh about it now. We can laugh about it now, right? Which is good. Which is good. We need to just like, yep. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know. And you know, it served a purpose. It made me feel like I had control. Yes. This is a group for recovering perfectionists. Of course, Sue. But we are in recovery. I'm in recovery. As you guys have seen, this goofball over here has given up trying to be perfect. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. Or I would never have turned on the live camera because this inner critic, not good enough, not smart enough. You don't speak right. You don't say it right. Move on. Be you and see who shows up. There you go. Lady Leo would change my daughter's clothes 10 to 15 times a day. Yep. That's a lot of laundry, yes. There you go, Lady Leo. Good. And I told you guys, right, with my 3 kids, we are definitely diverting a little bit here, but my girls would say, you know, with her brother, it's like, oh, Mom, you would never let us do that. You would never, like. So I'm like, well, I learned, and I've apologized a lot to my kids. And now when I see that perfectionistic streak in my oldest, I sometimes tap her on her shoulder and I ask her, so how do you feel about this? Do you like this? And I tell her my permission to stop. Because if it doesn't feel good, you can stop. I stopped. You don't have to keep doing this. So, but I can't judge because she learned it from me. So, but she's doing her own therapy. She's in her own perfectionistic recovery group. Carrie says, I call that perfectionist good Carrie. She carries all the anxiety. Yep. Yes. I have one like that too. My young adult self, the good mom that was going to do it right, make it look right. My kids were, she looked good, but she wasn't that good. She was trying to be a good girl, but she terrified her kids. So my girls, when they were younger, they were scared of me because that's how organized I was. So poor babies. So I've come a long ways and I have forgiven myself and apologized a lot. I've sat with my girls and given them permission to tell me how that made them feel. I've said to them, I hear you. Yep, I believe you. I know you're telling the truth. I was there. I know it was scary. Yes. Yes. So that helped to free me and it's helped to free them. Not that it's right. They're going to find their own way to deal with it, but I'm not asking them to not talk about the hard stuff. So Carrie says, if I'm good enough, maybe people won't get angry. Yes, I hear you. I hear you, my friend. I hear you. You're funny, Lady Leo. You're funny. Well, and here's the thing. Actually, Dr. Margaret Paul, whom you guys know that I'm a big fan of, the author and creator of The Inner Bonding, she has written a few books about, how we give up ourselves in order to be loved. And so part of healing is, right, to become that parent and the protector that we needed. And all those inner parts of ourselves who still think that only if they do good and are good enough or look certain way will they be accepted and seen and heard and validated. It's for us now to give those parts permission to bring those stories to us, right? Hey, baby girl, I hear you. I know, I understand, but it's not the truth. I know you thought so, but I am here now. I am here now. I'm here now. I am here now. I'm your parent and the protector to remind you that that's the story you had to create to survive that. But you deserving love has nothing to do with what you do or for other people, right? Fear of being alone. Yes, will they leave me? Right? And then the fear is like, well, if they really knew who I was, then they'll definitely leave, right? So we're caught up in that. So our job, right? Love and accept all of our parts, help all our parts, right? We accept all those parts. We forgive all those parts. We forgive all the things that we did because they were all in service of survival. They were all done to survive. And as we are learning to shift out those things we used to do to survive for some healthier coping strategies, connecting with our hearts and our bodies and all those parts, then we don't feel so alone, right? Then we don't feel so alone because we know no matter what, whether someone is here or not, I am loved. I'm always loved. How do I know? I love me, all of me, all my parts. And the self-compassion and the self-care practices that we do. How do I know I'm loved? Because I take care of myself. I love to take care of myself. That's my demonstration of modeling love to myself. Well, this was awesome. I really appreciate, as always, I love how our conversation evolves as we start sharing. Amazing. Amazing. And now I'm getting unstable connection again. So I pulled a card for us today. And here it is. Maybe that was a reminder you needed for today. Trust life and trust yourself, my friend. You're welcome, Lady Leo. Thank you guys so much for being here. I wish you all a beautiful weekend, a beautiful evening. I am planning to be in the Facebook group tomorrow at 2 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. If you're around, I'd love to see you. And again, if this supported you in some way today, I'd love a thumbs up, like here on YouTube. It helps my videos reach more people. And of course, if you'd like notifications for the next time I go live, then remember to subscribe. So, all right, sweet friends, please be gentle with yourselves. These are uncertain times that we're living in, but take good care of your hearts. And if you can this weekend, do something that sparks joy. Sparks joy. I'm just saying that, my heart just started singing. Thank you, thank you, thank you, sweet friends. I will see you later. Bye, everybody. Take care now.